What was driving you? And what was it that you wanted to accomplish?
It started as a search for the facts. I mean, from day two, following all of this, as we were all grieving and going from our own services to other girls' services across the state, we all began to be driven by understanding the truth. What happened that night? What happened leading up to that night? What happened following that night? How did all these pieces of this puzzle all fit together? And why did this outcome? Why did this outcome happen the way that it did?
Do you think you were ever stepping in as a dad going, well, maybe I can still fix this?
The pain associated with losing a child is indescribable. For somebody else to go through that same pain, if we sat back and did nothing, and this happened again, for another father, another mother, another sister, another brother, another set of grandparents to have to go through the pain that we went through, it would frankly be we would be reliving the pain with them.
In a way, you almost feel like you're letting your own daughters down.
Correct.
I mean, even in the immediate days that followed, as we were trying to, again, put this puzzle piece together, and I've spoken to my wife extensively about this, at that time, even though I knew it was irrational, I felt that if I could put that timeline together, that I could save my daughter, that I could save these girls.
Do you feel you have the facts now?
There is a sense of gratification, vindication that the facts are now public, so that people, they understand what actually happened that night versus what they're hearing through the rumor mill or their local chat groups or whatever.
And the frustration, which that frustration can lead to sadness or lead to anger. During the investigative hearings that happened at the state capitol a couple weeks ago, I could physically feel the weight on our shoulders being lifted, that truth was being told to the public. And we've been carrying that on our shoulders privately, and to feel that weight being lifted, my wife has commented on this many times, that I'm not hanging on to that frustration or anger that I might have been otherwise in the previous 10 months.
At the same time, this has been and will continue to be such an emotional roller coaster ride. Today marks exactly 1 year since I dropped Molly at camp and gave her my last hug. And so yesterday, car rides are tough. Long car rides are tough. Solo car rides are tough. This morning was tough. I think I'm dried out, so to speak. But the great work that our state government has done, the great work that the independent investigation has done, the incredible support of our families and our friends, we are so grateful for all of those things. But just make no mistake about it, it doesn't mean that the road ahead is not still really, really difficult for us. To be able to be on the leading edge of meaningful change, not only in Texas, but in Alabama, in Oklahoma, and starting the work in Missouri, and then going to a national level, that keeps our daughter's purpose and their spirit alive, and we're just getting started.
What change you think you have made that has been valuable since you undertook this?
I think first and foremost, the parents know the questions to ask. It's about education. We've now been able to educate parents on the questions they need to ask of those camps. What policies, procedures, plans do they have in place? That's part of one of the things that we continue to blame ourselves from a guilt perspective is we didn't ask those questions. I didn't know that I needed to ask those questions.
It took something like this for people to take a hard look at this industry. And make no mistake, we think camp is a great place for kids. It takes them away from their screens, it takes them away from technology, it gets them out of their normal routine. But let's make sure that we're taking them out of their normal routine into a place where they're safe and where the staff understands safety, understands emergency evacuation, understands the weight of taking someone else's child and being responsible for their well-being.
And a couple of nights ago, my wife asked me at our local Mexican food place over margaritas, how do I think this is all going to end? Which was kind of a big question to ask me.
Yeah.
And there are lots of facets to this, across civil and criminal and legislative pieces and emotional as well. And I kind of stumbled for a little bit, and then I just paused and said, I hope this never ends. And it's not that I hope I'm stuck with this grief forever in that regard. Although hanging on to that grief makes me remember to hold my daughter close to me forever. But it's also that if we continue this fight forever, that this job of safety is never done. You're never complete. You should always be looking at existing processes and improving those controls and monitoring and communications. There's always improvement, no matter what it is. If it's camps, if it's schools, wherever else. And so my hopes is that what we've started will continue not only with our group, but with a larger group nationally over time.
Do you feel the same way as Matthew, that you don't want this to have an end?
Absolutely. You know, if I'm going to be in this position, I want to be in this position with guys like Matthew and the rest of our crew, and that's a bond for life.
This is strangely unique that we have had this new group of folks to lean on, and the good and the bad, and it really truly helps us all to be able to get through.
While our friends are amazing people, when I'm in a social setting, I would almost always rather be with Matthew or with any of the other dads and the other moms and even the other siblings. Like, my daughter Annie is yearning to be with the other siblings because she knows she's with somebody who understands what's going. It's not everybody's empathetic, but not everybody understands.
I mean, I would go back to the strength in numbers and the strength in unity that we would not have been able to accomplish if it was one individual, myself, Ryan, any of these other parents standing by themselves, yelling into the wind to help affect change and impact change. This happened because we went as 26 families to the governor's office, the lieutenant governor's office, the speaker's office, and lobbied for change, and made them hear our stories. This happened because we stayed unified. This would not have happened otherwise.